Good evening, everyone. I appreciate everyone taking the time, making this investment to attend this webinar and understand how this can be impactful and make a difference to your careers. So let's get right into it. Pinkesh, can we jump into the slideshow mode so that everyone can see the slides fully?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so a little bit about adaptive marketing. The company is headquartered out of Silicon Valley and started operating out of India 3 years ago, and really working as a finishing school for product professionals. And by product professionals, I mean, project managers, business analysts, user experience designers, engineering and QA leaders, people who are in sales functions, solution engineers, anyone who is touching some aspect of the product and the value that is delivered to the customer. And so those people who want to accelerate their career path in product management and product marketing, and that's where adaptive marketing has been very focused on. So adaptive has 4 different disciplines in which we provide a lot of training and education and consulting. Product management, product marketing, user experience design, and agile development. And combined with all that, as Rishi talked about, leadership and soft skills, having that as an overarching theme is also very important. So it's not just the functional and the domain skills, but also the soft skills that are important. And this is the kind of work that Adaptive has been doing for over 3 years in India. Now, Adaptive has also been the only partner in Asia for AIPMM. And AIPMM is an international body, Association of International Product Marketing and Product Management. And it's the organization that gives out credentials as a certified product manager or a certified product marketing manager. And you have to take the exams that they have. They have a different, curriculum that Adaptive has been certified as a partner to deliver on that curriculum and conduct those exams in India and really in Asia. So, and it's a worldwide body. It's an international organization. So this certification is very much standard across the world. So if you are a product manager at Microsoft in Seattle, or a product manager in Google in the Silicon Valley, or a product manager in India, you are on the same par as far as this certification is concerned. Okay, so that's where the recognition and the accreditation of the program comes in. So the International Certificate Program in Product Marketing and Product Management, what we call as ICPM, is really one of its kind program that we're launching in India. Quick highlights about this program. The most important aspect of this program is that it is delivered by faculty of senior practitioners as well as professors from various institutions. But the practicality of this program is extremely important, because unless you understand what works in the real world, what doesn't work in the real world, a lot of people have been successful, but they also learn from their failures. So that's extremely important. And it's a world-class faculty. We have people from different parts of the world who are experts in their areas, who are part of this faculty. There are 23 courses across 5 different themes: product management, user experience design, agile development, leadership and soft skills, and product marketing. And a lot of different functional skills built in these areas, and they are delivered over live interactive sessions conducted online. And I'll go through a little bit more details in a future slide. There is also a face-to-face immersion that happens in Bangalore, in the Bangalore campus. And this is where all the participants in the program come to Bangalore for a 6-day face-to-face immersion where there is a lot of opportunity to network with the peers in the program, with the other participants in the program, as well as industry executives who come and provide a lot of real-world experience and the ability to network and connect with them. And we talked about the special focus on soft skills, which is very important. Cross-culture communication. There was a question on how do you apply negotiation in an international scenario. Influence building with authority, Vishy covered a lot about that. So really this is giving a very comprehensive view, a comprehensive skill set for becoming product management and product marketing professionals. So who is the program for? As we said, product professionals, program managers, project managers, engineering leaders, architects and technologists, obviously people who are existing product managers who have been accidentally found themselves to be in that role or trying to do it in an ad hoc manner. This also serves as again a good finishing school for them. Solutions managers, sales support, again, everybody who's involved in interfacing with the value that's delivered to the customers. Either you are creating the value, communicating the value, delivering the value, so all parts of value management. We expect that participants have about 5 years of experience in this program. So that's because you are kind of grounded in the reality of your own organization, of the challenges that you're facing with respect to customers, and can start applying those learnings to those situations. So what's the structure of the program? So this is covered over 3 months on an online platform. We are partnering with a company called EduSpire, who have been conducting online learning programs for institutes like IIM, and they are a very well recognized company in this area that have built up a lot of infrastructure. So about 3 months intensive online instructor-led training, and then the 6 days intensive face-to-face workshop in the Bangalore campus. The online learning will happen twice a week, 3 hours on Wednesday evening, and 3 hours on Sunday morning. So that gives you an opportunity to sort of plan your day, be prepared for the online instruction, and also gives you time to assimilate that learning and sort of reflect upon it and come back on Sunday and Wednesday. So as I said, there are 5 themes, 23 different courses. So we are really looking at over 60 hours of learning led by an instructor. And then the themes that we have identified for this particular program are obviously product management. The number that you see next to each of those themes is the number of course modules that we have in each of those disciplines. So product management, user experience design and innovation, product operations, product marketing, and leadership and soft skills. So a very comprehensive kind of approach. And we can go into the details of each of those disciplines. So under product management, I'll just take one as an example. How do you establish a connection with the customer and gain insights, do market research? What are the different techniques? How can you as a product manager be here in India and still be able to connect and do research with customers across the world? And that's something that traditionally a lot of people have had questions about, but with social media and a lot of different techniques, that is no longer a barrier. Competitive strategy, win-loss analysis, why are we winning in the market, why are we losing, what does the customer think about our products, about our company, sizing the market, defining and qualifying the opportunity, who is our target segment, understanding those dimensions, preparing a business model, preparing a business plan, and be able to communicate that to stakeholders and executives in the organization to be able to get the green light and go ahead with the plan. So how do you kind of bring all those components together and say, drive the future course of the product line or drive the future course of business? So all those things become very, very core skills to have in order to really make an impact for any person in the organization. So Pinkesh, let's go forward to the next slide.
Yep.
Yeah, and then last but not the least, leadership and soft skills. And Vishy spent a lot of time sort of going over the importance of soft skills, especially as the functional skills and domain skills become table stakes and become taken for granted. So that really becomes a differentiator for growth in any career path. And then the certifications that we talked about, the AIPMN certifications for product management, product marketing, and agile. So, so that's giving a platform, building the functional skill set as Ram talked about, building the leadership and soft skills as Vishy talked about, and then making this a really globally recognized and a certified program. So that's what gives you a big sort of a big picture view of the ICPM program, what it is all about. Okay, next slide, Pinkesh. So how is this program logistically going to be administered and delivered? So as I said, this is a 3-month online program, and we start in October, so Wednesdays and Sundays, 6:45 to 9:45 p.m. on Wednesday, and Sunday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we have 7 online sessions in October, 8 in November, 8 in December, and then in January we have a 6-day on-site immersion week. This is the week when we have the opportunity to come together as a group, learn from the peers that have been participating along with us. There is an active study project that is involved, so the participants will come to the Bangalore campus and do their final presentations that they have been working with in groups. And they also, those projects will be evaluated by industry leaders, so venture capitalists, CEOs, and leaders of various organizations will actually come to evaluate and give you feedback on your project. And it will also give an opportunity to kind of network, understand where the industry is, what the different opportunities may be. So, so that's an excellent aspect of the program. So kind of gives you a calendar view. We start in October 2012 and go until January 2013, kind of mid-January. And the 13th to the 18th of January 2013 is the immersion week in Bangalore. So what happens in each course module? So let's go through that. So each course module will be conducted online, real time, led by an instructor. And the instructor will go through the core content. So if, for instance, we are talking about customer insights and market research, the instructor will talk about what are the different ways in which we do market research and what are the advantages, pros and cons of each type of technique. We will look at case studies from Harvard Business School case studies as well as real-world case studies of different companies. There will be a lot of interactive discussion is very important because especially that is very critical when you have to learn with your own experience. So that is critical. And we'll have assignments, we'll have some quizzes to evaluate and assess how the learning has happened, how the learning has been immersive. And as I mentioned, there will be an active study project that people will be working within groups and culminating in the final face-to-face immersion week in Bangalore. So that's kind of
so
yeah.
There was a question on that related topic, and so this comes from Ankur and a couple others. So is this program kind of recommended for people who are looking to move into product management within the existing organization, or is it also helping folks who are kind of planning for this role outside of the organization?
I would say it is applicable to both. Obviously, if you're looking for a transition to a product management role inside your organization, then think about what Ram spoke earlier. The domain skills. You already have the domain skills. You already know the industry that your organization is in. You already know the company and the people that you work with. So that transition is sometimes easier because you are kind of an expert in that domain. You know the domain very well. If you're trying to transition into a product management role outside of your organization, then you have to acquire the domain skills. So that's a little bit of a, you have to set that time investment aside to be able to come up to speed with that domain. So it's really a question of how the domain skills that you already have can be leveraged in order to make the right transition. And of course, the functional skills, the soft skills that you get as a part of this program are definitely going to help you make the transition. So I hope that provides kind of a perspective of whether you want to grow in your current organization or look at opportunities outside.
Absolutely. I think the related question to that was, hey, am I going to be able to, are you going to help us with connect with the industry and, more from a, networking and helping find the right companies as well, was the question from Samuel, and then related to that from Arthi. So I think you already answered that question, right? It's basically a lot of networking with industry execs, and obviously when you network, you find opportunities at different places, including, people like Ram who are kind of here on this call are the kind of folks who you will be interacting with, is
Yes.
what I'm hearing, right?
Yes, and again, Ram brought up an excellent point, which is the gating factor is not going to be the lack of opportunity, but the lack of qualified product managers to take advantage of those opportunities. So that's where companies are looking for well-qualified product managers who can, help define the opportunity, the customer pain, and the value. So the networking is an important aspect of the program because, once you have gained those functional skills, the industry is definitely looking for this skill set. So it only makes sense for people to come together and take advantage of that opportunity.
So, here a bunch of questions on the operation side. Sriram Venkataraman has a question on, hey, will the sessions be recorded in case you miss some of these sessions, especially with people traveling?
That's a very good question. Obviously, this is something that we are currently working with EduSpire on. They have the opportunity, they have the technology to be able to record sessions. But the thing about recorded sessions is that it becomes a very one-way kind of an interaction. So as long as, in as much as you can actually participate in an online session, that's obviously going to be a lot more beneficial because it gives you an opportunity to kind of step into their shoes and experience that learning, and the discussion may or may not be directly immersive when you're just looking at a recording.
Got it. So what you're saying is this is not reading from a bunch of videos that you can just do whenever you want. There is class participation, but for those who miss, it will be recorded.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is from San PV. What's the eligibility criteria to attend this program, and the kind of process of selection? Was a related question. Are there criteria on how do people get selected to the program?
Sure. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, we expect people to have about 5 years of experience. So they have an appreciation of understanding the challenges they have in their current role, the opportunities the company has, and have that grounding is important. In terms of the specifics of how do you actually apply and get into the program, we have a process by which you can fill out an application form, and then there is a kind of a quick interview process. So we have faculty members who will interview you online and over the phone, and kind of gives us an assessment of where you are in your career, what difference you are looking to make, how you are looking to grow yourself. So we just want to make sure that we have the right group of people who are participating in the program, and that's kind of the selection process that we go through. Is to there is a application form that you fill out, and an interview process, interviewed by a faculty.
Got it. Here's a question from Anirudh. Hey, my current organization does not have a very well-defined product management ladder or a structure. Will this mini MBA help me switch careers, so to speak?
It basically, the short answer is yes, but let me qualify that with something more. So, if you are in an organization where there isn't a well-defined roles and responsibilities, there isn't a well-defined career path, as we said earlier, there are a lot of other companies that are looking for qualified product managers. But most importantly, no matter which organization you are in. I think the way to look at it is product management is not just a function or a role, but it is a way of life and it's a way of thinking. And that thinking you can apply into your existing organization or to existing role or in a different role. So it's just making sort of a lot of savvy business sense, leadership sense, and how do you implement that right away. So that's kind of how you look at it.
Another question, Rahul, and I think this is a pattern in these couple questions I've seen is, look, is this program going to cover a lot of financial rigor necessary to run the product like a CEO? And a related question from Siddharth Iyer is, is it expected or does product manager handle product P&L, profit and loss, and the other financial side of the product?
Yeah, very good questions. So, being able to understand the financial aspects of how your product is performing in the market is extremely important. And so, when we talk about, finance in the context of product management, unlike an MBA, we're not going to go into options and derivatives and, financial instruments and things like that. But definitely we are going to look at what are the elements of a profit and loss statement. What does it mean by bookings versus revenue? What does it mean by gross margin and controllable margin? The expenses that an engineering organization incurs, the expenses that are incurred by the marketing organization, how do you quantify the return on investment of those expenses? How do those expenses impact the profitability of the product? So those are things that are very important to understand. And having that understanding gives a lot of business sense, because now you can ask a lot of questions and really get to the root of how is the product actually performing in the market, and how can we improve that? How can we take it up to the next level? So it's just getting a grounding in that area.
Here's another question from Charles. Does this program help individuals to work on real projects of product management?
You mean inside the program or outside?
So I think the question, and that's all the question says. So I think the question is more, during the program, will we be able to work on live projects, real projects, versus,
Yeah. Got it. So the active study project that I talked about, these are projects that are going to be given to us by our companies that we work with, and so those are real life, real world problems. So those are not necessarily some fictitious case studies that we will come up with. So when groups work with those active study projects, the executives from those companies will actually come and evaluate and give feedback on those projects. So yes, definitely these are going to be real world scenarios and not some fictitious scenarios.
A couple quick ones, if you can answer them quickly, Rahul, in interest of time, right? So there's about 6 or 7. One of them is, it's actually 2 questions from Sanjay. One is, is the exam done after the course at the campus, or is it done at the house, or is it done kind of online from where they are? And the second question is, do they get PDUs as part of the PMP certification, continuous education? Is the program going to award the PDUs which is necessary for the PMI or the PMP Institute? So 2 questions.
Yeah. So for both questions, yes, the certification exam is, typically we would encourage that it is taken when you are there in the face-to-face immersion week on the campus. We kind of help just to refresh and review all the topics that we've covered in the course. And that's a great way to kind of do it when it is still alive and fresh, if you will. And in terms of the PMI certification, yes. So those are the PDU is part of the certification program.
I think somewhere earlier in your slide you had it's like 21 PDUs or something. Um, we're assuming it's the same PDUs that he's asking for PMI Institute. The second part of the second set of questions which I am hearing from Sarvanan, there was another question from Monica, is basically, look, we've already done an MBA before, or we're in the process of. How is this helping? How is this going to enhance or add value to?
Yes. So if you're already in the process of doing an MBA or have already done an MBA, there is a different level of functional skill set that is available through this program. And what I mean by that is, we go specifically deep into specific areas. So the market research, the product operations part, the launch planning from a product marketing standpoint. So we go deep in those areas and really work with a lot of experiential case studies and scenarios. So that's extremely important. And so while a lot of the topics may get covered at a high level in an MBA, so if you take marketing, for example, a lot of schools have the Philip Kotler book about marketing as a textbook. And it covers a lot of information about market research and examples of market research that have been done in the past. But we actually involve a lot of practical learning as well. So you may actually sit across and do a real-life customer interview. So that becomes very experiential and immersive. So it's really, look at it as going deeper into certain disciplines where you have the opportunity to build those functional skills. Pinkesh, up to you.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I think there were two questions or three questions around this, so I'm just kind of combining it for now. One is there any scholarship? Can we pay this in installments? I think it's more of a pricing question. So do you want to maybe quickly cover that? Vandana has been asking, are there scholarships available, or can we pay this in parts, is what Sushil is asking.
Yeah, so I think that the way the program pricing is structured, that it's not something that we support, so we don't provide loans and scholarships. Although you could definitely approach a financial institution for that. And then with respect to paying it in installments, we really evaluate that on a case-by-case basis, not necessarily as a policy.
Got it. Okay. So Ankur Soni has just asked, would you advise ICBM program for a non-MBA engineering graduate who've been in the work for about 10 years? So I guess the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. I mean, I would go back to asking, what are your aspirations? What are your career goals? And again, if you are someone who wants to stay in the engineering track and rise in that career path and become an engineering leader in an organization, again, it's important to have an understanding of the entire business aspects around delivering the product. So this is important skill set from that standpoint. Or if you are looking at making a transition to product management and actually being in a more business-centric role, even then this program is very applicable to both scenarios.
Okay. So Sarvanan, I think we answered your question that you have already an MBA. Will this help? And I think the answer is yes, based on what Rahul just said and explained, how this is more of a relevant, more deeper dive, and also it's the international certification that you get at the end of that. The question is from Carl, is this going to be for people who are based out of India at the moment or even outside? So that's actually a good question. I know in the last interview panel where you had me as well interviewing Rahul, there were few folks from outside of India as well. So is this program
That's right.
really more global, or is it more focused right now for the folks in India?
So it is a global program for two reasons. One, the certification is global in nature. It is recognized and accredited by AIPMM, which is a global organization. And then the second is that the online instructor-led training, the very nature of it being online affords people the ability to actually participate in this program no matter where they are. In fact, our faculty is also distributed across the world because we really want to make sure that we have the domain experts, the best-in-class people who are faculty members. Like for example, the user experience designer design faculty is a gentleman based in UK, and he's a very well-respected speaker in that area. One of our guest speakers is a gentleman, David Fraden, who's again very well respected in the product management circles. He was one of the early employees at Apple, and worked with Steve Jobs. So again, it's a global, worldwide faculty, a global, worldwide certification. So obviously, this program is also available for people who are not in India to take it.
Got it. Another question is from Mahesh. What certifications are included in the course?
As we went over the AIPMM certifications, the CPM, Certified Product Manager, CPMM, Certified Product Marketing Manager, and then the PMI certification for Agile, the Agile Certified Professional.
Got it. Another question is from Tejas and several others. That look, this is good. We've got opportunities. Is that only by networking, or is there a formal arrangement or assistance for placement?
At this point, we don't have a formal arrangement for placement. We are really looking at networking as a means by which people can get to know each other better, and I think that serves a very important purpose in terms of people really discovering, finding each other, and then having the opportunity to identify the best fit in that sense, rather than sort of broad-based placement.
So placement assistance is what you're saying, but not placement guarantee.
Correct.
There was a question on PMP certification and what is the relevance of PMP certification on the project management side to become a product manager. So I guess that's pretty. Yeah. I think as we saw, project management is really about how do you bring everything together and make sure that the delivery happens. And while you're doing that, a project manager is involved across the lines in kind of a cross-functional role. So a lot of project managers can naturally transition into product management because they're working with product managers very, very closely, or at least they're also working on the business side of the company or the product team very, very closely, and they have an understanding of what's kind of important. So PMP certified professionals, project managers, that's kind of gives a good launching pad for becoming product managers.